So in this video, we'll be talking about Pisces moon in the 8th house. And generally speaking, what Pisces moon does is it creates an expanded moon. The moon doesn't physically get larger, but I'm talking about the spiritual meanings behind it. So the themes of the moon become more expansive. And the moon rules things such as emotions, intuitions, it rules the creative process. It rules our family and also our ability to care for things. So when the moon is in Pisces, it's in the 9th sign from its own sign of Cancer. And the 9th house is about expansion and it's about excess. It's also about faith and epiphanies and revelations of knowledge. So people that have the moon in Pisces, they have a expanded intuitive ability. And also, since the 9th house is about luck and blessings, these individuals are blessed intuitively. They also have an expanded capacity to care for things or to empathize with others. And they're quite sensitive because it makes the moon more sensitive when it's in Pisces. And anyways, in this case, the moon is in the 8th house, which is about the occult, and it's about the hidden things of life, the secret things, or the things that are behind the scenes. And usually it's the phenomena that is subconscious because it's hidden. So it rules things such as hidden motives, it rules people's psychology, and it rules desire, and it rules what it is that we can get from others as well, because it is the house of shared resources, and it's the house of the possessions of other people, because the 8th house opposes the 2nd house. The 2nd house shows our possessions, and the 8th house is about the possessions of others, especially ones that we share with other people or that they share with us. With that being said, when the moon is in the 8th house and it's in Pisces, this creates a heightened intuition towards secret or hidden or occult things. And so you're able to pick up what's happening behind the scenes a lot of times, and you're able to understand the depth behind things, or like you just sense it and you're just aware of what's really going on when you're faced with a certain situation or challenge, or when you're dealing with a certain individual that may be causing you challenges or may not be expressing their true psychology. You're able to just intuitively pick up on what their motives are, what psychological manipulation that they're using, or like what's going on secretly. The 8th house is all about secrets, so it's about intentional things that are hidden. The 12th house, on the other hand, is all about unintentional secrets, things that are subconscious. But since you have the moon in Pisces as well, this makes you quite creative, and also you tend to have faith in your intuitive abilities, because the 9th influence is about faith as well. So this allows you to take risks and whatnot, and to easily believe what it is that you're feeling. So sometimes you may jump to conclusions about what you think others' motives are, and you will immediately assume that whatever you're feeling is the truth. Sometimes you can be on the right track, like sometimes you can be correct, but sometimes it can be a little bit different than what you had envisioned or what you had felt. So the truth can be a little bit different, but generally speaking, you have a very strong intuition if you have the moon in Pisces and in the 8th house. And also it shows an affinity for occult knowledge, or for like things such as astrology, tarot, and like magic, like manifestation, stuff like that, things that we do to attract things or manipulate the circumstances in our favor. because the eighth house can be about manipulation, but it's also about secret skills, secret talents, and like secret information that the masses are not necessarily aware of because they don't pay attention to that, and is usually seen as taboo or is just misunderstood. But since the moon absorbs knowledge very easily when it's in Pisces, and it has a interest in knowledge, and it has a large capacity for memory, because the moon also rules memory and things that we store, because it rules our emotions. And so when it's in the sign of Pisces and it's in the ninth house from its own sign, that just means that you have an expanded affinity for information and for knowledge. So not only do you study a lot of broad different topics that sometimes can be unrelated, but you're able to connect them and make them related, but also you are interested in the occult. So you have a large capacity to remember occult or hidden information, or like dark secret things, or like you just like to learn about the depths, and you like to learn about what's going on behind the scenes. You like to know the truth, and you like to know the harsh truth. So a lot of times also with the moon being in your eighth house, this indicates that you go through a lot of emotional transformations throughout your life. And you go through a lot of subconscious purging. So a lot of times you have assumptions that you make, and you base your reality off the assumptions. And that's what everybody does to a certain extent. But since your moon is in the eighth house, when you go through an emotional transformation, it's like it completely purges your subconscious. So at least once in your life, you may have already, went through a transformation where your perception of reality changed completely due to like an emotional ending, or some sort of like transformational moment, or like a struggle moment that you've been through. So with that being said, since the moon in Pisces creates a lot of epiphanies and realizations, a lot of times you just attract dark epiphanies or dark realizations. And so this kind of reminds me of like existential crisis type energy, like where you can realize stuff that completely shakes up your reality, but you can't help it because your moon is in the eighth house and it's in Pisces. So it's very intuitive, and it makes connections, and it starts to realize what's really going on behind the scenes, or it starts to think too deeply. So that is a possibility, and that's maybe a way that your reality changed at one point due to the moon being in the eighth house. So if this resonated with you and you saw yourself in this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. And as well, if you would like me to make a natal chart video about your placements and answer any inquiries about your natal chart, check out my Patreon, because I do free natal chart reading for all my subscribers that join. And it's new right now, so I'm looking forward to that. And so I'll basically make a video just like this, but about your natal chart and about your placements, and it's going to be unlisted, so it won't be public, and it's just going to be my way of doing a reading. So if that interests you, or if you have any inquiries, definitely check that link in the description to my Patreon. And other than that, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys sometime soon in another video.